Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Imperator Rome. Yes, this may surprise you that I decided to do this little series right off the bat. And no, this isn't Massalia, but the Massalian series will still be coming because the Menander update has still not yet come as of this recording, which, by the way, I'm recording on July 9th. So, basically last week or 2 weeks or whenever this has been posted. But anyways, I'm not Massalia, which, by the way, is over there, in case some of you people are wondering. That will be the site of the future series that I will do once the Menander update comes out. But this is still the old update that's been around since the release of the Magna Graecia DLC. And speaking of Magna Graecia, that is where this little series is going to be taking place in, as we will press this little button here to zoom the capital. We are over here in the city of Taurus in Tarentum, as I'm playing as the Hellenistic city-state of Tarentum, right in the middle of Magna Graecia, also known today as southern Italy, for the more modern people. And Magna Graecia is also known to the Greeks as Megale Hellas, Greater Greece. That's what it means. Either Great Greece or Greater Greece, you know. So, since we're located here, so we would just love to expand on the rest of these areas. But Magna Graecia as a whole, this is where it is. Everything that's highlighted in green. That's where it is in general. Sicily and Malta included. Now, I'm sure some of you are thinking, well, I understand you're doing a little mini-series and all, but why mini-series? Well, here's a driving reason. I'm starting to get a little impatient on waiting for the update to come, so I thought, well, let's do a mini-series. And I do mean mini-series in a sense, because I don't think this is going to be a long series because of a couple of circumstances. One, the update is coming soon still. And two, well, we don't know how this is going to turn out. Take from one city-state to try to expand it somewhere. And three, and most importantly, big old Rome. The Roman Republic, which one day they will expand all over the Italian peninsula. Alright. I mean, the other night before this recording, I originally wanted to do this mini-series as Croton, but it didn't end up so well. I mean, we did expand, but Rome got the best of us. And, of course, the handicap for having the Crotine heritage, which part of our heritage is in this game, for those of you viewers, and I mean you viewers who are not familiar with Imperator Rome at all. I could tell you some things. Not teach, but tell. And I mentioned heritage. That Crotine heritage of theirs that has -5 discipline, which definitely hurts a bit in combat, but +5 on national citizen happiness and +10 civic tech investment. But however, over there in Tarentum is much worse with -10 discipline, but ups on the citizen happiness and a bit more population growth. Well, then again, that's just remnants of the old Pythagoreanism that was once prominent in Magna Graecia. But here in Tarentum, our Tarentine heritage is -5 import value, so we won't make much money by importing trade goods here. We can definitely improve more opinion maximum through foreign countries, and a light cavalry morale +10. But again, Tarentum was founded as a Spartan colony in Magna Graecia. Tarentum has not always had a lot of friends in there in the area. Over time, the city has become renowned for its highly skilled light cavalry and built a heritage as an influential power in its region. And based on what I know about the history of Magna Graecia, I believe Tarentum, out of all the what's your national culture? Italiotian, of the Italiotian city-states that are the strongest one out of all of them. So I thought, well, let's do a mini-series on those people and try to, unite the Italiotes of Magna Graecia, or Megale Hellas, since we're Greek after all. And so, for the purpose of this series, what is the goal for this series? This is what the mission line is for. There's two of them. The matter of Magna Graecia, which is basically try to expand into the whole of that area. But it's highly doubtful. But instead we'll do Greater Greece. The Italiote cities of Magna Graecia have squabbling over regional dominance and allowed themselves to fall prey to Italic tribes in the process. In the coming days, our city must take weight of the Italian leadership if Magna Graecia is to survive. So, Tarentum must establish leadership of the Italiotian Greeks. So the Greek world has watched the spiraling Diadochi conflicts with trepidation, and now Syracuse has revealed its Alexandrian pretensions. Encouraged by Arthidios, Archon Demodamus has grown increasingly passionate about Tarentine survival, and they see themselves as a rallying figure of a new age for Tarentum. Quite the firebrand. So, for the next 10 years, I am an inspiring leader. I'll become a bit more popular and have a bit of a charisma. But mind you, ladies and gentlemen, this is not a kingdom. For those of you used to me playing Crusader Kings, we're not a kingdom. We are a, oh, there's a word for that. Plutocratic republic. Here you go. We're a republic. Which means we serve terms. You're not elected for life, unless you want to change the laws for that. Which, of course, the Senate will block any kind of election reform. So our term lasts 5 years, typically, unless you die in office. Then election day changes. It starts in October 1st, so every 5 years, October 1st is election day. Unless you want to extend the terms and rule for 7 years. And shorten terms to shorten it for 3 years, which, why on earth would you want to do that? But if you're a member of the populist faction, and then you could rule for life. Especially if you get that particular faction all supported. And I mentioned factions as the current Archon, president if you will, or whatever, if you wish to call whoever rules republics, but Archon's a Greek title of it. I am of the civic faction, which means national tax plus 20 and empower civic faction costs is reduced by half to implement, well, more build costs. And I'm also the party leader here. There's the military faction, which if he rules, that ups the morale in armies and navies. There's mercantile, if they rule, commerce income up, and diplomatic reputation as well. Religious faction, omen power plus 10. And populist, well, it's not very much, except the electoral model of, the current terms. These guys are the more, So these are our current candidates, even though it's kind of very early in the game to tell it as such. So now, there's these free idea slots. Since we are a plutocratic republic, we can only pick 2 civic ideas and 1 religious idea. You cannot pick military or oratory ideas, so you won't get the full bonus, so let's go for complex terrors, more commerce income, because we'll be setting up trade routes in a minute. And here's tax farming, more slave output. Slaves are important in this game. And as for religious, I got no subjects. And popularity doesn't really matter because, as I mentioned about the 5-year term, so we'll go with state religion up a little bit more on the country's civilization. And with that, now I get the bonus of plus 1 capital import routes and more national commerce income. So let's set up trade. And since we're only 1 territory, county if you will, to some, our trade good here is horses. I mean, after all, it's part of our heritage here in Tarentum. So it's produced here, but we already import wood. But however, based on, this miniseries, I don't think the Navy will be important to us, so may have to get rid of that wood. I mean, if I were to buy another wood in, it'll be up to local tax, but I'm not here to build ships. We're going to be a bit land intensive of what we could be dealing with in this little miniseries, so cancel that trade route. No longer importing wood. Plus, we don't make much money on importation anyhow. It's part of our heritage, so I'm going to do the same thing just like what I did with Croton in that failed playthrough last night. And that's import iron. One from the Italiote League from Attica. So this will allow heavy infantry units. And I'm going to get more iron. This one's going to come from the Gallic tribe. And with that, we have more local manpower and plus 10 on heavy infantry discipline. So I'll be spending on heavy infantry soon. And I really care about, maintenance in the armies. It's all the same. So go for salt. One from Carthage. This one is just to up the population capacity here, even though, well, a lot of people can live here, if we ever expand. Another one from Venetia. So now army maintenance cost goes down, so we won't pay that much money to have it all maintained, especially that we will be expanding this army soon. Speaking of our army, we have 4 cohorts. 2 archers, and 2 light cavalry that came with it as part of the country's heritage and whatnot. And since I told you folks that that we'll be getting heavy infantry, and we'll be getting that, by golly. And mind you, manpower reserves. Like, when your armies take damage, then the numbers will be able to regain to size. That's what manpower is for, but it also costs you manpower if you're going to be recruiting more. Which I've already decided is going to be heavy infantry. Because that's for taking out the heavy cavalry, which I know some of the enemy forces, especially further up in Rome, has. And it's also good against light infantry, which I'm sure there'll be plenty of over there. We already have the light cavalry, which is good for taking out light infantry and archers, which are fairly common. And the archers here, just only good for taking out infantry. I do not mention supply train because supply train are just, well, they're food carriers. They have a big food storage to add in one's army. But they don't fight back very much. And plus, our range is very limited when it comes to expeditionary wars, so give me 4. Of course, it's going to take time. But I'm going to remove the Navy. I'm disbanding it because that's a cost-cutting measure. So yes, we're making a lot of money right now, but soon that, maintenance is going to play a factor here. We have a level 10 Marshal. Our best general is a daring man, which he's less loyal, but it would be a lot better if he was an admiral, but unfortunately he's the best we got. So it's either him or me. And I don't want to be that kind of guy that gets myself into trouble. Unless, here's another thing, the offices, the other people that run these particular offices, especially the Marshal basement. Oh no, these 2 are worse. What about technology? Is he any better? Unfortunately, no. Well, Eric Geos, or, again, I may not be the best at Greek here. But that man is the best that we got. And he's pretty loyal for now. And now the omen, which this is obviously a full-on Hellenic faith in this entire region. So we don't have to worry about people of foreign faiths living here, otherwise the omen power would go down if there's not enough of the religious unity. We do have one treasure though. Bendis figurine. A small figurine in the image of the Thracian goddess Bendis, often associated with the Greek Artemis. So that just ups on the population conversion speed, if we wish to convert people. Especially if we got temples here. But I would say right now, if I was could predict where's the first war going to erupt, and we have two allies, Apulia and Mesopia, and as a city-state, that's too many relations, and that's going to hurt our monthly political influence, which we've already spent a bit of that. So if these guys get attacked by particularly Rome and their vassals, we'll do our best to support them as we're trying to build up this army here. Not to mention, start training. As you can hear, they're drilling. As they slowly increase their morale. And this experience here, if you get the further experience of, these units will take less damage in combat. It's better to have them ready for war than to come in, you know, untried and take quite a bit of casualties. But don't overdrill it, because these cohorts will one day be loyal to their general rather than to me as a country, as their arc. But then again, he's the most competent general we have. So it's either him or me. Either a man with martial experience or a guy with a high martial, and yet... There we go. Don't want to be thinking about that. And I am for certain that the war is going to erupt, so we will use the moment to call Heracles, which, mind you, it's Hellenic dated war. Raw culture happiness is already up, that's passive effect. When I have this activated, that's discipline up. It'll help us out in the war, which will come very soon. And as we train, we will inspire the populace right now. Tarentum has seen better days, and the fast-changing times have revealed the need for radical action if our cities to survive. Archon Demodon is spearheading debates and encouraging a change in our foreign policy to reflect this. We must act. It'll take us 2 months, yes, 60 days, until, well, we get a claim on Metapontum and Heraclea. So these two areas, though one's very weak in discipline, and them, well, they don't have much of the way of manpower. It'll be easy to take out, but they're part of the defensive league, in which Croton over there is also a member of. So it would be best just to expand on Metapontum and Heraclea, and then that's a start. And speaking of start, we'll get started as we go along this series finally, and tell you what people. Also, another thing for drilling, it's to increase our military experience a bit. Once you get up to 100 military experience, then you can spend it on traditions. In this case, we're Greeks, so we already have the phalanx tactic, which we'll use it for our army, especially if it's heavy infantry intensive. And once you have 100 up, then you can unlock this to start off with, or this, just to start off with. And of course, once you start either path, you can go further down there as you like, or in this case, do one here, and the next one should be that, and the third one will be there, and so on and so forth. Now, righteous cause. Archon Demodonus is widely praised for his speeches calling Tarentum to arms, and has won the support of many across the political divide. All that remains is to stake our claim to survival and happiness. It is our time. Now I'm a bit more popular. This man here, who is head of the Italiote League family and researcher, he'll be more loyal. We stirred the populace, so manpower recovery speed is a bit more faster, and it costs less to fabricate the claim. So let's stop here for a moment. One more month and I'll spend it on another heavy infantry. Because ideally I ain't gonna go to war without at least 4 of them. The number of archers and light cavalry are fine. Rome does not have a Casus Belli yet, but he's picked up a few allies. That's it. And I believe... Oh, really? So I thought those 2 were going to go to war immediately, so... Guess not. But we could easily take out Metapontum, but the Senate wants none of that. But if we could try to win the support from them, I mean, at least to a point where it's passable. But as for me personally, I'm currently siphoning funds. It came with it. It started the game. Because I only have 20... Oh yeah, there's a difference between the state treasury and the personal wealth of this character, which he has 20 so far. That's the reason why he's siphoning funds. So it increases his monthly corruption, but he gets a lot of money every month. So I can use the money to either hold the games to be a bit more popular, or befriend somebody, influence character, or hold a triumph for myself if I was a general, or reward any lower cohorts to the said general. And the character already came with spouse and children, which in republics, unlike monarchies, having children isn't, and raising to be, groomed to be your heir and whatnot, not really important. It just depends on, well, who the hell they're voting for, their candidate. And since in this case this is a plutocratic republic, they're not eligible to elect until they're the age of 35. So it looks like Metapontum it is. Yeah, keep hitting that stick. Makes you feel strong, doesn't it? Breaking alliances of Appleby. Oh yeah, you got way too many allies, so... Don't break up. We're gonna need you. I mean, honestly, I would rather break up the other one. But he's got Empress in his back pocket, which is, across the strait. That's them over there, led by the young Pyrrhus. Pyrrhus, the guy where, Pyrrhic victory is named after. But again, we could take them on ourselves. Well, not terribly worried. Yes, we're trying to improve their opinion. But if we break up an alliance with them, I don't blame them. The Antigonids in their hubris and folly have chosen once again to resume hostilities with Cassander of Macedon in a vain attempt to prove dominance over those known as the Diadochi. We can only wait to see what effect this will have upon the politics of the known world, and how many sons must die to sate the bloodthirsty appetites of tyrant kings. Troubling news, so that means Phrygian-Macedonian War started by Antigonus, the one-eyed general, who is also the king of Vassos of Phrygia, which will soon be renamed the Antigonid Kingdom in the upcoming Menander update. Soon Phrygia will just be referred to by the region of it. Oh, that's Phrygia region. You're looking at provinces. There's a difference between the two. Keep that all in mind. Okay, if we can't get them, what about them? You son of a... You chose them over us. That's not good. And Rome also broke up with its other ally, which was them, who's from over there. I'm sure they're going to go up against the Samnites again. Naturally. I'm sure they're going to dump me as well. So there's no point in improving relations. It was a waste of a political influence. I can't go to war until we get the Senate on our side. But then again, I'm a reckless, suspicious man. Although it does cost less to imprison somebody if I'm suspicious at certain somebodies. But if I do lose an ally, then who do I gain? Epirus? Well, Epirus is busy as they're part of the Phrygian Macedonian War. On whose side? Macedon's side. So they will not intervene. Nope. I was thinking them, but they got Croton on the back pocket. Oh shit, I'm in a little bit of trouble here. Again, I have 2 claims on these areas, but... Okay, they broke up now, but I have no claims over this area. They got a lot of manpower from Epirus. So I thought maybe we ought to fabricate a claim here, take this one fort, and all of this will be occupied. We can knock them out easily, even if we beat back the Epirites and Talentia. It's ideal, but at least the Senate is divided right now when it comes to declaring war against a much bigger power rather than a little one. I mean, come on, folks. What's wrong with taking out the little guys? And plus, they have less discipline. Those people hate war. They don't like to fight. They'll easily break down. But nonetheless. Again, Epirus is busy. Those guys will intervene. And we make very little income right now. Cult of tanks. Lately we've seen a growing numbers of people following Tanka, seeking the fortune of the gods. A priest and a small group of followers have arrived in Taurus, looking for a new home for their cult. They promise good fortune and that people will be well taken care of, that they're given some sizable funds and help getting it started. I ain't got no money and I don't want to lose stability, so we have no room for these cultists. And popularity matters little in a republic because of the short terms, unless we elect a guy who is really unpopular. And there's a scientific breakthrough. One of our researchers, Heromenes, thinks he's about to make a notable scientific breakthrough in the research he's currently working on. All that is needed is some more supplies and funds for the next couple of years. Highly doubt it. To be able to get his hands on some of these, he has personally asked our Archon, Demodamus, if he could be given access to them. The rest of our research would certainly suffer if we make this move. But maybe it's worth it after all. I guess he'll get everything we need. Of course, that means they'll definitely hurt the research as it's... Whoa, boy! That jumped. And after that big jump, national commerce goes up, and so is the population capacity. But most importantly, Even more national comes. Was hesitant on spending on more technology, but anything that'll increase our economy would do us just fine. Even if it's a small margin. Not to mention we're playing as a country that has lowered import value. Metapontum is building another fortress. Meaning this fort alone, it'll be much harder to take down. Okay. I can't wait any longer. We gotta get the Senate behind this, so. It would be ideal to befriend or who's the party leader? Oh yeah, that man. How about we be friends? Even though I'm trying to. I was about to say short on cash, but not really. I'm still getting some. So yeah, it'll take certain costs, which hopefully it's not too expensive. So if you're going to try to pass an act, especially if the Senate isn't going to go with it, it's best to befriend a party leader. Hieromenes is the target of a brazenly outspoken critic who's been provoking ire for some time. It seems the loudmouth is protected by political opponents of Hieromenes and believes himself to be untouchable. This could be an excellent opportunity to impress him. A few bribes and some thugs will solve this, so I get a bit of tyranny for this. And speaking of tyranny, this is the result of it. War score costs are improved. Population assimilation up. Loyalty of generals, admirals, and governors will go down. Especially the primary culture happens. My culture, my own people, wouldn't like me for being a tyrant. But it ups the national slave output, lessens the cost of imprisonment and executions. But it'll go down pretty fast since it's minus 0.10 every month as it goes down. Now, Egypt, led by Ptolemy, who has the wealth of the world's richest man. He's at it again. So, Egyptian-Phrygian War. Our position offers many ways to publicly flatter Hieromenes. Careful praise of his deeds in the halls of government, among notaries of our country, will be sure to find its way back to his ears. Alternatively, a lavish sacrifice in his honor can hardly go ignored, but then again a few could spurn to give a public statue in their honor, particularly a flattering one. Oh, I don't have much in the way of political influence. So, oh no, that's state treasury, so, yeah. I'll just publicly praise his deeds, so that's moderate progress. So, small, moderate, I need a large, because I don't think the befriending thing is going to work. But at least it's an attempt. Rome has not declared yet, and apparently has restored the alliance with Byzantium. Wild beasts from far corners of the earth make for an eye-catching and exotic gifts. Various merchants throughout the region offer a wide range of creatures, both for the arena and private owners, from Scythian colts to Nubian leopards. The question is, which impressive beast to send? All my money. Get a tiger. We've got to be friends, damn it, because we can't let Metapontum have a fortress that is so massive that our infantry cannot besiege it. Our efforts to encourage a friendship have paid off, actually. There we are. Best friends. Two party leaders. Even though he is a kindly man, but he's also cruel. Seems contradictory, though. And now the Seleucid Empire is fighting against Phrygia. Everybody wants to gang up on Phrygia. Stop it. He's basically at war with everyone. This could be Antigonos' last stand as he's, 79 years old. I guess it is kind of playing off historically, for those who are familiar with the Wars of the Diadochi. Alright, it worked! So the Senate is divided, and forcing through this will cost more tyranny. But in this case, since we're a city-state, I don't think it matters. It probably matters little. But he does have a casus belli with everybody, including Tarentum. I guess he picked the mission tree for the matter of Magna Graecia. We need to take 2 areas in order to get Tarentine. Resurgence, which is part of that tree. Yeah, and that's where it'll lead. We also have mercenary lines, which can lead to the Italiote League, which is one of the, which is probably the goal for this mini-series. Form the Italiote League. That's what I'm trying to go for. And Rome is already at war. Is at war with the Sabinians and Etrurians, the Etruscans, if you will. So it's those 2. So that's 11 cohorts total versus 11 in Rome. But however, Rome being an aristocratic republic, they can recover fast on their morale and reinforcement speed, and more morale of the army. So, and they have a lot of manpower reserves. They are an army of infinite. And I'm sure Apulia is going with them. They're not. What happened? They broke up their friendship with Rome. In this case, I think I have a bone to pick with them. I mean, after all, if we want to expand into Magna Graecia, I mean, like, you gotta get to... again, this area, there's no historically Greek areas, but this area is Scipios. So that's our goal. It's here. We'll expand to there, there. I guess back there. Maybe Thodorai and Croton. And one up here, even though you would be right next door to Rome. So, they probably dropped out for whatever reason. Hey, if I were to expand and get up on their league, maybe Rome and the future Italiote League could get together. He's going north. We're expanding here. Maybe we need to get together. Let's share Magna Graecia together. Until we find a strong ally and kick him to the curb. But of course, that's wishful thinking. Alright boys, the training is over. Going to war immediately. And we'll set to the phalanx tactic. Or Heraclea and Croton will be going with them. We're going alone. Because we have no allies, because they dropped out in favor of people like Everest dropped out. But then again, nobody can get anything together right these days. So it doesn't matter who. We're probably gonna be, it's just gonna be us versus the rest of the city-states, including them, so. Fabricating claim costs 15, political influence, so, you know. And the Senate's for it, obviously. So I thought, well, let's fabricate a claim here, and another one here, which is just to get us to the city here. Gotta beat him to the punch. Croton and Heraclea may have boats to attack us, but we are a city-state, which we have better fort defense and a bit more on the national commerce income. But those bonuses would soon go away once I become a local power. As you can see down here, city-state's one territory. To be a local power, you gotta have a range from 2 to 24. 25, it'll be regional power, which is what Rome is about to be once they're dealt with those two. I was thinking, who should I... I don't know, Syracuse is at war with the Sicilians. Sicily. Oh boy. Well, actually, no, not oh boy, because... Just because they're friends with the Etrurians, I mean, Rome declared war against the Sabinians, not the Etrurians. I mean, had Carthage intervened, then Rome would not be a strong republic as it was at the very beginning, had Carthage intervened. It's been 40 minutes, and it's about damn time. We're doing it alone. Don't care. We're against people with less discipline. And the Heracleans, as with their Italiote heritage, they don't have much in the way of manpower reserves. So we ain't scared. Let's do it. And I don't care if it's going to cost us more tyranny just for passing this act. Gotta beat him to the punch. This is their best general that Metapontum has to offer. He's a tough man, but he's lustful. But he's less loyal. And apparently there is a bit of tyranny in that country. No, because they're the only army. The country's too small to try to inspire some disloyalties. Oh, by the way, fabricate that claim too. Just to... Oh, anyhow. Get to work. Right, training is over. We're attacking now. Yeah, go ahead and run. Go home in front of your mom. Where have I heard that quote before? Oh boy. So, the combined forces of Heraclea and Metapontum, they're all archers. And it is unclear which side will win. I mean, we have archers too, but we have more heavy infantry, but they're going to take a beating from the archers. But we have the cavalry. Hope I made the right decision. Not to mention our troops have just been drilled to a degree. Who's the other guy? Who's Marshal 10? Oh, he's a brave man, and that ups the morale in armies. I have a bad feeling about this. But we have the discipline. Good. Anyways, that's how combat works. As you could see, our heavy infantry is engaging those people, those archers here, this particular one from Heraclea. Yeah, these are in combat. If they're looking at it directly, that means they're in combat right now. Whereas this one is not currently in combat. Is that correct? Yeah, it says attacking. The archers of this particular cohort are killing 30 of them, inflicting their morale damage, and it's all dice roll, including the terrain modifier, which is forest, by the way, until you beat the heck out of them so much until they can no longer fight on the Heraclean forces. And so these two archers of ours, they're fighting against these two archers from Metaponto. Heavy infantry is going against them. Light cavalry against archers. So on and so forth. And plus, they have 100% discipline with their strategos, but we have 105 discipline because of our strategos, and thanks to the omen of Heracles. Yes, for more discipline, so we made the right call. But we're going to take a bit of a beating on the morale against their combined forces. So it's a good thing I picked the phalanx tactic while they picked bottlenecks, so no advantage or disadvantage on either of these two tactics. But since they're all purely archer, we can take them out easily while we can. But our heavy infantry is going to take quite a bit of a knock from the archers since they're good against infantry in general. We lost 1,000, but they lost a little bit more than us. So they're on retreat, but we cannot advance because we better make this siege fast. But we can make it fast. Spend the money for technology. Upcoming siege engineers. Oh, we should have had that. That's my fault. More heavy infantry discipline, so we'll fight better next time. 1+ supply limit. The siege ability, this will definitely help out. Army weight modifier reduced, so it won't take much of attrition. And with those lives lost, at least it's going to make us a little bit more money. One more for the sake of it. So we won our first battle, but now it's time for the siege, which is going to take time. Supply shortage. Oh, that was 50% chance. It's all dice roll, mind you. Based on siege, engineering, commander impact, garrison, whatnot. That all determines it. And the number of infantry that you are bringing. It's infantry only. That only begins siege. Cavalry cannot besiege areas. Because that's not their job. Being blockaded by Croton. Yeah. I think we're about to have another battle. Perhaps going without an ally was a risky thing to do. So no status quo, it's gone. We're taking it down a bit faster. It is 4, 3, 2, 1 days. Supply shortage again. Once you get past the 0%, then now there increases the chance of surrender. And then the entirety of this area will be ours, under our control. And we got to advance to the next area. And quick. And plus, when you are in enemy territory, wait for the next dice roll. I'll show you in a second. Food shortage. We're getting there. When you're out in enemy territory, it's also eating away the food capacity due to the attrition and less than optimal conditions. Again, we're far from the comforts of the farmland and into the forests of Minipum. We'll soon be there. But as long as you are in friendly territory, including occupied territory, food reserves will be refilled. If you're going out on long expeditionary wars, it's best to take with you a supply train. Water shortage, so 50% chance that they'll surrender finally. As we continue to slowly reinforce the manpower. 125 will reach the armies this month. We're getting there. Plus their morale's still low, so if we were to attack now, we can definitely beat them. We need to get them while they have low morale. Even if we're going to be crossing a river. Food shortage again, so this is the best that it's going to go. They've brought in more cohorts. What's this? Lucania has declared war against Metapontum for Vaca and Croton. Well, they ain't gonna get that piece of territory because it's about to be ours. But at least that'll get Croton off our backs. We should have allied with those guys, but no, they're allied with the Samnites. So he's gonna go to the Samnite region. They're still holding on. Come on, hurry up. We can't fight with no food. Left Tarentine discipline. Despite that, seem to be holding on, along with the combined forces. Combined forces still held on, but they really took a bit of a beating. Just surrender already. City-states tended to be more resilient. 269 days. General gets a bit more popularity, but those two populations we captured supposed to bring in the slaves, well, they died. No enslavement, just they died, unfortunately. So this city is ours, thus completing our goal, unless we want to capture more. But I do not wish to advance until we get our food capacity back up, so just hold the line. Plus it will stop them from recruiting light infantry and building that fortress. See the days moving up? Under occupation, they cannot further construction. So we're back at full strength. That's all archers and light infantry anyhow. If we had another 3,000, I think I would have recruited one more cohort in the light cavalry. Or archers, maybe. Let's speed up a little. Because we'll be waiting here for a while, then we'll advance to here. Not going to go after Croton. I mean, obviously we have no ships, but my intention's just take those two. That's what the mission says. But don't wait too long, otherwise that fortress is going to be finished by later this year. So, advance in the beginning of October. Oh no, they're going to beat us to it. Unless the battle will be ongoing. More modest and unassuming man. We cannot be found all at Tarentum. We should celebrate the true mediocrity of Demodamus. He's become humble. So he's more charisma. Attraction as heirs reduced if you're a monarchy. And less tribute income. But keep up cycling of funds. I need more personal funds. Last. I would have loved to take that area. But they beat us to it because they got there first. I wonder. Hey! The Olympic Games. Once more, the renowned Olympic Games are due to occur in the city of Olympia. The traditions surrounding the games are ancient, repeatedly dating back to the days of mighty Heracles himself, and are an occasion to which all of Greece rejoices. It is our custom to send the proudest and most able Tarentine athletes to compete on our behalf. We believe we found two ideal candidates: the towering Adonis of a man by the name of, that's our general, and an eager competitor called himself Nicanor. Which one of these fine athletes shall we send to compete in the game? Well, not him, because he's our general. We need him. But the next candidate is even worse. But I mean, look at that man. He's kind and capable, and hey, we have a lot in common. I'd lose popularity soon. Plus, he's a minor character. Just go. Do our country proud. They walked away from the siege, which means this siege is under my control now. Unless the Samnite folks are gonna stick with us and we can bring it down faster together. Later, the military faction offers us support some small portion of his camaraderie and promises a favor. We stand united. Do we have a claim on those two now, if we wish to face them? Maybe we should ally with these guys to take them on. Hey, what say you? They'll say no, because different rank. Oh, we'll be up in your rank soon. I mean, we're a city-state, but soon we'll be out of that city-state thing. This is my siege, not yours. This is our target, not yours. And those two have taken on a stance of neutrality. We're getting there. Everybody's here. Great Olympic Games come to an end with much rejoicing and celebration. The highlight of this year's games was during the Diolus, a lengthy double circuit of the Olympic Stadium. Democritus of the Bosporan Kingdom almost flew past the finishing line, careening into the watching crowd amidst the cries of jubilation. Overall, the victor was declared to be Eumenes Haladid of Ierapetra, a first-time winner of the Olympics whose brawn, virility, and Heraclean vigor are beyond compare. He will go down in the annals of history as champion of the Olympiad. Bosporan, Byzantian, from Byzantium. So, it's a piece from Crete. And our popularity increases by 5 because we sent our man there, even if he didn't win the thing. Or didn't make it to 3rd place. Basically, there's 3rd, 2nd, 1st place, everybody's dead last. But as long as somebody represents your country, you as Archon can be a little bit more popular. We got it. Unfortunately, we still did not enslave people. Instead, we killed their population. We killed some people. I'm sorry that those people had to die, but that's war for you. And I do not wish to fight the combined armies because they are finished now at this point. And Croton would be focused on, well, that's their problem now. Oddly enough, that their morale is still high, but give me those two. but they will not because, well, guess we're just gonna have to stall for time now. Just wait for a few months until these terms become more agreeable, and we will win the damn thing. Yeah, we'll be taking the food, and this population will not starve out. And I'm not going to get involved with their glorious battles. Oh, they picked the wrong tactic for the job. Hey, by the way, if we can't make allies, can we at least have access? We could give them military access, but I can't ask them for military access. And then we'll go for it. It's just, I would like to kick their ass, you know? I mean, it won't work, because the base is too low. I could send them a bit of money, which could help a little. I mean, I'm not spending my money right now. Unless you want to get more for the technologies, which is what I'm saving it up for. Here comes more reinforcements. Yeah, keep beating each other up. It's all archers. Can't go over there. Lack access. I mean, I would love to come over there and beat the heck out of them while they're still down. You know, kick them while they're down, sort of thing. Even though they've won, but the morale of their cohorts have considerably been lower than before. Okay, wait one more month. That's another choice. Just wait one more month, and we will win the war. So a month has passed, and now it's agreeable because the months of war thing. We don't need to send our men to get killed, because manpower is already low enough as it is. So it is agreed. Tarentum and Heraclea are ours. And this will make us a local power now, rather than a city-state. We're not just one city, we're 3 cities now. After a protracted conquest, we finally routed the Heraclean armies and laid waste to their lands. During the sacking of their capital, many important prisoners were taken, many of them having previously held important positions in the Heraclean Senate. Now they languish in our dungeons, awaiting whatever fate decide to impose upon them. All these disloyal characters are the ones that just came from conquered areas. I'm thinking. Okay, Banner stills a class and put the rest to the sword. We just want to lower the aggressive expansion. Just a bit. Same for the Metafontaine. Again, don't care if it lowers my popularity. Because here's something I want to do with them. And as we're a local power, we can join defensive leagues and can have more alliances. Which is something I need to look into. The integration speed increased, more diplomatic relations as we mentioned before, and more increase on diplomatic range, so we can contact those from the Greek mainland and elsewhere. That's the term of the peace offer. Oh, stop that. Take that down. Stop building that. Because you know how expensive they'll be. Hey, we earned some money. Of course, it does pick up a bit. That's what we'll spend on soon. And that completes our mission. Tarentine Resurgence. So our city has a long history and has been drawn into many wars over the years. These disputes have been put to rest until now. So we're making gains. For the next 10 years, people are happy, the Italiote people, and our morale of armies are up. So you could say we have the momentum. Seems our change of direction is bearing fruit. Tarentum is once again a major player in Magna Graecia. We must ensure this momentum is maintained. Onward, to glory! Even though I have like one more year in the term left. And Hellenic Vengeance is also complete, and this will affect last 20 years. So the rise of Brutian and Lacanian Italic tribes have subjugated Italiote cities to barbarian invasion, rapine pillage, and subjection. We must avenge these slights. We have at last overcome the Italic tribes of the interior, whose rise to power shook the Italiote supremacy of our ancestors. May Lucania never rise again. The Greeks are in control once more. So we need 2 more of the Italiote areas. So in this case, it's like we got 2 here. Brutia, like this one here, is tributary to Brutia. But I believe it's better off to fight against them next, to get another area that was historically Italiote. So that way we'll form the Italiote League. And I'm sure one day we'll put more focus here on our capital. So right, think of our priorities here. Yes, we have the momentum. Move the army to Talos. Will soon declare war against them, which they got back together with Apulia. And Apulia has a claim against Samnium. And Roman Samnium war. Now Umbria has joined against war against the Romans. Again, they have an ally and 4 feudatories. That's how much they're up against. And the war score is in Rome's favor at plus 37. That's where the situation is, so... Six, 5, 3. I'm looking at cohorts. Croton will be left alone. So our best bet for the future of Megale Hellas would be taking this area and maybe them, if we can ask Rome for access so we can move our army over there. I mean, there's no way that we'll fight against the Brutians with their allies of Samnium and Lucania, but... Ooh, rebellion's about to break out. It's those 2 tributaries of Thuria and Hipponion down there. They're about to rebel against their overlord, which could possibly give us an opportunity. Maybe we'll leave the Lucanians alone and just go straight for this one. Again, we don't have a claim. You can't go to war without a claim, because that would be bad. It's what I call being an opportunist. Okay. Did some thinking. We still got roughly the same amount of manpower that we had during the Napoleon War. Well, then again, we were up against what we probably considered as amateurs, because these guys didn't have discipline. But that soon we'll be facing a different kind of enemy, and those are tribal. Which, mind you, the cohorts they have can be deceiving. It's like, the 6 cohorts, they belong to him. The clans have their own cohorts, so they're actually a bit more numerous. Not to mention they got more manpower than we do. But you don't want to expand too much too fast. Otherwise, you know, manpower's got to catch up. But at least we got 2 cities. Not settlements, but cities. Where some of the freemen can actually contribute to local manpower. And let that be a reminder, you people. Since I did not give you this detail. Excuse me again. We have 10 citizens here in the capital. Citizens produce commerce and research. Freemen produces manpower. Tribesmen produces manpower and tax. Slaves produce tax and trade goods. Too bad we couldn't get more slaves around here. Otherwise, like, if we have at least, like, every 18 slave population would be +1 for horses. So we can export one to make more money off of it. And also, mind you, these provinces, another reason why we should expand is to get the rest of the province of Tarentum so we can get more trade goods to here. I mean, around here, for the trade goods, as you can see, we produce horses here. Those areas we conquered, this one produces olives, which is for local slave happiness and national slave happiness. And Heraclea has hemp, which is slave output, and if there's a surplus, then that's ship damage done. Exporting would be ship damage taken. Capturing more of these areas that we wanted is mainly food, which is good, because not only that's more olives, but some of that is population capacity, even though we already have surplus of importing salt. There's some fish, there's a bit of earthenware, and some vegetables. It's pretty good resources. It's kind of like the basics for, you know, people of Magna Graecia to be living on. And so, still got 1 more year before we, I was about to say, give the keys to, you know, keys to the city. We're not a city-state anymore, we're a local power now. Which, mind you, we lose the commerce income and fort defenses now of bonuses. But remember, Fabricating a claim to Thoria. I mean, they'll rebel, but will Samnium and Lucania join? And what about the Romans? They can have 1 more active relations. Really? They'll accept us? And the Senate is willing to go with that. I once said that we should share Magna Graecia together. Even though it does have a cash balance set upon him. No, he only cares about the north, not the south. That works for me. But then again, I kind of want that city for myself. I don't want Rome occupying it, but we can at least use them to have access to them. Speaking of access, Senate's will go for it, but we need to improve relations with them. But I think an alliance can definitely help out on that. So. And if Rome asks us to join their wars, well, I want no part of them. So I'll think about it. All right. Let me get to the troops' position and start spending money. Let me see. This one for the loyalty of characters. Loyalty is rather important in this game. And lessen the aggressive expansion. Definitely up on the diplomatic reputation. Yes, I'm becoming greedy. This one's for Houston. I mean, look, you got all this bonus money just for taking out the risk. And by the way, we imprisoned some people after the end of that previous war. And if we were to go to war against them right now, Senate's behind it, so we won't get tyranny. I think I'll do just that. Let's have a bit more tyranny. Not executing. We don't execute people around here. Senate doesn't like executions. And I ain't gonna flog their ass either. Instead, to sell into slavery. We'll get a bit more tyranny, but it gives us money. Preferably the ones who more valuable, like this one. So he sold the slavery. 8.5. I'm just looking at. Just don't want to sell everybody the slavery, just only the valuable ones. 13.5. 14.5. 9. Okay, take that too. I only go as far as 10. All right. That's one more. The rest of them can rot in prison. That's what I call good investment. And let's invest all that money that we sold them to slavery for more of these, including lessen on the monthly tyranny. That tyranny needs to go down. I know I've done some bad things, but we gotta reduce it. Faster clean fabrication speed. Good one. And I do care about improving national opinion. Matter of fact, it's part of our heritage. Oh hell, get the rest of them. We got enough money for that. Sacrifice to the gods. Costs reduced. That's for stability. More national population growth. More food. Just random one. Primary culture happiness, which, you know, we need something to fight back against this tyranny. And we'll soon be entering foreign lands, so we'll accept raw culture group happiness as well. The Italic group. And that includes the lands. Oh, this is definitely useful for army morale recovery. And have even more omen power, you know, for the discipline. Master citizen. More raw culture happiness. Slightly reduced build cost. A little more reduced build cost. Don't really care about too much about the tribesmen. Oh, and civic sacred. That's the last one, alright? Don't really care too much about population conversion, because everybody here is Hellenic. So there, that's it. And I may want to take down that fortress, because that's too many. We'll get some money back. We'll keep in Metapontum fortress. So that way, Heraclea, if we were at war with Lucania, hypothetically, so this would not change. But this will. There you have it. So just get to your position. And start drilling again. Because you still need a little bit more experience. This one cohort of archers is now loyal to them rather than to me. But that would be a problem far in the future. The rebellion has begun. Allying with Rome would be great for us. Although they are winning their war. But we can't, immediately call to them on our war. Unless you want to look to over in the mainland. See who can help us out. It's certainly not Empress. Oh, they will accept it, but there's too many relations for him. Plus, he's still at war with Phrygia. This one's at war, allied with Sparta, who's also allied with Macedon, so therefore took the side of Macedon. Messenia is a maybe. They do have a good number of ships which they can sail across. Aetolia, currently at war. No good. Oh, what about these guys they dumped? They'll accept 2 less cohorts, though, to my liking. Yeah, that's still ongoing. Thinking who's who as other possible alternatives to Rome. But then again, I could have them both because I got no friends. So, Rome will definitely be an ally, but who would be the second? Syracuse has grown considerably. And they've just made friends with Hipponion. Does Carthage have a casus belli against Syracuse? Yes, they do. Don't want to risk it. I mean, Syracuse would be a good get to help us out, but Carthage, I fear that they'll beat him to it. Definitely not the big powers. Hellas has no ships. Neither do they. So I would say our best bet would be these guys. But that's a maybe. No army but ships. I think they've probably lost a battle. Well, Rome it is. Wait a minute, who's that? Oh yeah, that's a vassal of Rome's. I guess Rome it is, but kind of hesitant on it. Because soon they'll call us into a war that I want nothing to do with. Because they are pretty much miles away. But I need another one to tributary. That can't be reasoned with. To make a client state, the opinion has to like us so much. But it's kind of far from it. Because I would love to make them a tributary and then later integrate them. Wish we could do the same to Croton. But no hard feelings. Fought over no war gold. Because that war is irrelevant now. 124, 120. Also has to do with distance. We're just still doing thinking. I mean, I know for certain that if we declare war, that Rome will not come to us because they're currently at war, which makes sense. And are building another fortress, which makes sense because of Roman intervention. Samnites, however, we can please them, but I don't think they'll like the idea of, you know. But does Rome have cash spell against Samnian? No. Okay then, I think we found our second ally, even though they're kind of busy at the moment. Didn't have to spend it. So those Samnites are useful to us. So we're thinking more locally rather than abroad. Like in the Greek mainland. We'll start that war first thing next year. Also hesitant about teaming up with those guys. But they are an aristocratic republic, just like Rome. Oh, now you're ready, even though you're both, you know. But remember, we'll be facing those guys. If they get that city before I do, then that's a problem. Plus they're a city-state and they got better fortunes. Well, all I need to do is just expand in these areas, so that way the territory can be mine. And if the war drags on, which it definitely will, I got to convince them to any territory that's occupied by Samnium and Rome has to go to me. We do have access already, right? Granting military access to... No, not me. I have to ask. Of course. Daughter is born. Stratonica. Yeah, we're basically setting up a strategy for the next big conflict in the next episode. Croton is still stuck over there. But nobody's going after the Croton proper. And there's that ongoing rebellion against Brutia. Now we can see what Rome is up to. They picked the wrong tactic, but doesn't matter, they got the numbers. Also, in case you were wondering, it's like, how come it auto-save every month? I'm playing this on Iron Man mode. I forgot to address that at the beginning of this video. I'm doing this on Iron Man mode just for this one. Not for the Massalian series upcoming, just this one. I don't usually do Iron Man, but I just want to do it since I'm playing a small, well, was a city-state. Several nights ago, Euthycrates, Leonid, was discovered helping himself to a sizable quantity of gold from the national treasury. This is clearly a serious crime, but there's something to be said for sweeping affairs like this under the carpet. Oh, you bastard! I'm gonna have your ass flogged to this. Oh, I guess that was his money. I thought it was Tarentum, the state treasury. Well, I flogged him out of anger. Made an example out of him. The rebels held on. But not for long, they ain't. Go, Samnites! Now I officially have one more year for the term. You know they will go after my capital for this. Hey, can you give us access? No. Damn! Because I would have asked them for it, so I can position my troops over here in Bantia and take this area before they finish that fortress. Unless I give them money, but I ain't got enough. Just looking at things. I mean, I know they'll give us access because we're friends now. Officially, anyhow. '53 plus 53 war score for Rome. They're losing the rebellion, is Brutia. But honestly, I think the best place to conquer first before Apulia. Even they have 6, they have 6. They have both same heritage. But they're tribal. And we're just training our troops, you know, preparing for possibly the worst of things. So I guess we'll have no choice but to let them finish that fortress. Taking this one alone, I mean, once you have this fortress under control, all of these areas will fall to under our control. Because of the zone of control, as you can see, because of that fortress there. I think it'll be easier to take this area before you do the rest, and then one more up here. We don't even know where their army is. They guess they're kept back from our view, so... No, I don't have any ships. I can't scout them out for it. We disband the navy because of cost-cutting reasons. Okay, first thing next year, right? Remember that promise you made. Guess we'll let them build a fortress. There'll just be another obstacle to this one more city, which I do not want Rome to have. So, anyways, Demodatus and Artediles spent the last several weeks in deep debate on a number of issues they shared strong feelings on. At a recent open discussion in the Senate, he's challenged Demodatus directly, expecting a recent camaraderie to hold some sway. Head of the family, this man. He's a researcher and a friend of the general. Populist faction, this man is likely going to be the next Archon. Don't like it, but whatever it takes. So should we really engage the enemy, even though Rome is busy? So is Samnium. I mean, defeating all three of them would be an accomplishment in itself, but it's a bit risky because of the tribal and the amount of manpower is reduced. Probably cost cutting. Don't know why they did that, but they did. So, okay, that makes him slightly weaker. I guess the opportunity to start the next war will be very, very soon. Wait till spring. Which will be April, I'm talking about. Just trying to train your boys a little bit more. And we're not spending more manpower to... We're still going at 7,000 strong, but we're experienced on 7,000 strong. Oh, I don't like that stance he just made. He started a war. Well, actually, he's involved in a war. So, Empress is in war with that island country of Korkia. I think we found our opportunity to start the next war, even though they'll be over there. You know what? Just wait 1 month. 1 more month, because they'll have to be on board of their ship, so they have to go to this coast, sail on over there, and be on this island. They'll be back to port. Wow. We'll go sweep in and take those guys, or just take the fortress before they even get a chance to fight back on their turf. Alright, stop. Okay. Let's review this one more time, and then this will be a segue into the next episode, which is already available here on the Lord Master channel. Rome will soon be winning this war. They will take all of Sabonia, and a good portion of Etruria, and Umbria as well, which no doubt they will be a strong force one day. Samnium, however, is still part of the rebellion against Brutia. Well, they're fighting against the rebels, which neither side is winning. Actually, we know who's going to win that one. So they got down there. They made their way down there. Taking it all the way to Hipponion. It's also part of that rebellion. And part of that Carthaginian Syracusan war. Good thing I did not pick them as an ally. So Carthage wants all of Sicily for themselves. That's their goal. So remember, on this first episode we made our first impression. For the first time, Imperator Rome has come to the Lord Master channel as Tarentum in this ongoing mini-series. Which I'm going to predict it's probably going to be like 5 or 6 episodes before, well, something bad happens to us. Either that, or the Menander update has come, and therefore we will end this series on, hopefully on a very good note. If we try to get all the way to, well, don't know about all of Greek Italia, but you know what you mean. Just need to form the Italiote League, which may happen in the next episode, or in the 3rd episode of this mini-series, which you'll have to watch them to find out. So we hope you enjoyed this first episode of the Italiote League mini-series here on the Lord Master channel. But until then, so long for now.